gentlemen, welcome back to Doctor Who Reviews. This week, we are looking at the Tom Baker serial, The Horns of Nimon. I picked The Horns of Nimon. I'm sorry I picked The Horns of Nimon.
You certainly did do that.
I mean, there were reasons for it.
You had your reasons.
Greek mythology. Let's blame Greek mythology. We should anyway. If anything goes wrong, just blame Greek mythology. Oh, those damn ancient Greeks.
Like getting into a war over a lady on a ship or something. Jesus.
Indeed.
Wow.
Wow, way to just destroy the subject that I got a degree on.
Yeah, there you go.
What have the Greeks ever done for me? You mean apart from getting you a degree? Apart from that, what have the Greeks ever done for me? So to discuss the Horns of Nimon, it's quite fitting that I'm corpsing. To discuss the Horns of Nimon with me, I'm joined by my co-host. To my virtual left, trapped in a box of tremendous size, distorts his vision, shields his eyes. It's Freezing Inferno.
We're doing a podcast!
And you just sound like an anime villain.
Oh, that's good. I mean, usually my anime villain voice is when I go down like this.
Fan art challenge. Replace the villain of this episode with Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah. Well,
Doctor Boy.
Oh, come on now. We can do better than that, can't we?
Oh my god. My voice for Paimon was basically Pegasus.
Yes, you just...
But a bad Pegasus. But, yeah.
Not that this Pegasus is much good either, but I mean, I can still try and do it.
A lot...
I'm very good at the part where you laugh. Rainbow.
There's really no response to that, is there? So... nothing as much has happened in the world of Doctor Who, really. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Chris Chibnall is still hiding behind his precious wall of spoilers for the centenary.
I mean, that's another way of looking at it. Nothing's happened, therefore, another week's gone by where they haven't revealed anything about the centenary.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah, one thing. Shooty Gap will be shooting in shooting their first scenes in November.
Shooty will be shooting in November?
Well, not like that.
You know what I mean.
Yes, which means that they are probably... I can't remember. Is Shooty's pronoun... Have they even come out with pronouns, or...
I honestly do not know.
Shooty Gatwa will be filming Doctor Who in November, starting in November, which means they're probably not in the specials. Unless that's a false report. But they were starring in Barbie, the movie. So they were filming that at the time. And Series 4 of Sex Education. I really can't talk. Series 4 of Sex Education. There we go.
Yeah.
So that's really the only news I can think of.
What a busy Doctor Who, huh?
I am totally not stalling for time, so we don't have to discuss this.
Hey, you picked it. We can deal with it.
I know.
What's the matter? You can't deal with a little gonzo?
The gonzo is fine. The gonzo is fine. It's just that nothing really happens for a large part of it.
Well, that means we'll just get it over quicker because we'll be like, and then some people walk through the corridor.
There's just a lot of talking in corridors.
It's peak Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, baby. Except it's also a little silly, so you know it's what fans hate. Actually, why don't we take a look at the poll?
It can't be P Doctor Who with it, Frez. Daleks are not in it.
Wow, that's low.
Go on, tell me.
223rd out of 241.
I mean, don't you know the story can't be good unless the Daleks are in it?
Nestled right between the Time Monster and the Underwater Menace, which, while I disagree with their ranking, I feel like just being between those two stories is kind of fitting in a way.
It's a fitting grouping, but they should all be much higher.
Yeah, well, yeah, they all should be much higher.
Well, not much higher, but they should be higher than they are.
They They really should.
And resurrection should be a lot lower than it is.
Yes, it should be. But then again, we know that Doctor Who magazine readers are fucking allergic to Gonzo.
The story that has put me off the Daleks for the time being.
There you go. Look at that. All it took was one say word, and you're like, I don't want to look at a fucking Dalek shooting a guy and killing them again for like, give me the unfiltered Gonzo. Oh.
Again, my favourite bird ever. Eric Sayward thought he could write good dialogue. We give TARDIS Wiki a lot of crap on this podcast, but that line is immortal.
Well, so Horns of Nimon is technically, and this is technically, the last story of season 17 of the classic era. And I say technically because it was at the time, because the next story would have been Shada, and if you go on our Shada podcast, you'll know that Shada never actually got made in late 1979, early 1980.
No, it did not.
But it has been remade now as part animation. And if you buy the box set, the Blu-ray set, you can watch Shada. You can slot it in as the season finale of season 17. But in 1979, this was the end of that season. And Douglas Adams' script editing run. And Graham Williams' run as producer.
Yeah, this ended a lot of things. It's the last Doctor Who story in the 70s and the first in the 80s.
I mean, technically, like, what, part 3 and 4 aired in 1980?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the first one to air in the 80s and the last one to air in the 70s.
It still feels like a 70s story.
Then very much so.
Then you get to season 18. Look at Meglos compared to this. And you can see how the season change was like, wow, it's the 80s, baby!
Yes, we now put synth in the title sequence.
Yes, everything. It was 80s and wild. Oh, when we get to the Leisure Hive, it's going to be really...
Oh, I've seen that before.
Oh, that has some Gonzo fucking...
Does it ever? My God.
Ah!
It's one of those that I watched and then was wonder what the hell I watched and had to watch it again to figure it out.
You were literally Krusty the Clown watching Worker and Parasite.
What the hell is that? Yeah.
But, yeah, regardless, so it's a Tom Baker Romana story with K9. The wrong K9 voice for the last time, unless you count Shug, which, you know.
Yeah.
Either way, you know, it's in that nebulous state where it was the last in 1979, but it's not the last now because we've got a halfway decent reconstructed Shada to throw on Blu-ray. So
I'm glad about that too, by the way.
By Anthony Reed, who I think was a former script editor for like the Leela years.
Possibly.
Remembering right? Either way, shall we get on into the Nimon?
Yeah, now, I said it's a lot of, nothing really happens at parts of this. Part 1 is the epitome of this. Because part 1 is basically set in one major location and the TARDIS.
They really took a hit on the budget here, didn't they?
They really did.
I mean, think about it. They went to Paris. That must have been what it took a lot.
They went to Paris, Douglas Adams ordered a lot of wine, and then the budget ran out.
Whoopsie diddle do. And they spend all their money on building a giant green fucking monster with a phallic thing for Creature from the Pit. Oops.
Goddamn Arato. Right.
I fucking love Creature from the Pit.
I love the fact that the creature is just named Error in Latin.
Errata. That is a name from mythology, though.
Yeah, but it's also a mistake. So, if someone's doing an errata, it's a mistake.
Ah, yes.
Granted, it's spelt differently. It's two R's.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that. We've done that.
We're not talking about that. So instead, we've got two guys on the spaceship bitching about how their spaceship is a piece of shit.
The Great Scotland Empire is no longer great.
Which, these guys are space fascists, aren't they? Or at least space imperialists.
I think so.
I mean, they've got armor and they got like lightning bolt symbols on them. They're kind of space fascists.
Kind of. When we meet their leader, yeah, very much so. But
I mean, they're all about, our empire fell, but we're gonna rise up and we're gonna conquer and take over and do all this shit. I mean, there's no like political machinations beyond. We want to conquer because that's what we do.
There is a line I could say here that would fit, and I'm not going to not get us cancelled.
Okay.
But you can probably figure out what it is.
No.
Political, relevant, and terrible all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
About returning places to their glory days, and that's all I'm going to go for. Yeah, exactly. We agreed before we started we would not talk about that, and I'm going to stick to that. But yeah, they are an imperialistic race that have fallen beyond their glory years, and they are keen to revive that, and this is part of that. So we've got the two pilots bickering and bickering some more, and then they crash, and they argue about how they're going to get themselves out of it. The co-pilot, who is very arrogant, says, we're just going to boost this. No, don't do that, you'll take it over. A giant explosion kills the pilot. Oops.
Well, you're omitting one major thing, a couple of major things of exposition, where they talk about fulfilling their contract with the Nimon, using their cargo, and then the co-pilot goes to check their cargo, and it's a bunch of kids in yellow jumpsuits.
Yeah. That's not prisoner.
And this is a wild flourish, who he just can't help but sneer at and say, weakling scum!
Yeah, and that was an ad-lib.
Yeah, such a great ad-lib that he ad-libs every fucking time he's in the room with these kids.
I think he says it at least twice in part one.
Like 4 times I counted.
4 times?
Yeah,
of course you counted.
Of course I counted. That's our job to count these things.
Unless when it's talking about when the Aquatic Silurians are referred to by a slur how many times, then that's not our job.
Too many! Too many!
I would say once was too many. It was something like 22, 23.
Now you're making me remember Legend again and the land parasite thing.
You brought things up that I didn't want you to mention, and now we're even, so...
And now you're mirroring me. Fuck.
But, yeah, they continue to argue, and there's an explosion, and the pilot is killed.
Yeah, it's because the co-pilot wanted to speed up their travel. We can get back to Wisconsin in 6 hours, not 12. We can get back in 9. We can go fast, and we can get the glory of the Scarlet Empire. No, don't do that. Oh, God, the ship's out of control.
He overextended the engines because the ship is ancient and creaking and almost falling to bits.
Speaking of ships are ancient and creaky and almost falling to bits, what the hell is the Doctor doing with the TARDIS?
I have no idea.
He's fiddling with it because the plot will demand that he fiddles with it.
What's this?
He's been playing around with fixing this or that, and he had to deactivate a bunch of shit, including the dematerialization circuits, but it's okay. We're just floating around in an empty void in space. There's nothing irresponsible about that.
There's a part of the TARDIS that is used in this, and I still can't get the name right.
Uh-huh.
Is it gravitic stabilizer?
Gravitic anomalizer?
Gravitic anomalizer, thank you.
I've watched a lot of Star Trek. I've got a mind for technical.
I like that.
Then, how about this? How about the joke where the TARDIS like short circuits and it turns K9's head backwards? And the Doctor gives him CPR.
Oh god, the CPR. That was another ad-lib.
And then he turns the head back and it's like, okay, you alright, K9? Affirmative?
There's a fair amount of ad-libbing in this story.
People, they're just having the jam with it. It's just like, who the fuck cares? It's a dumb alien story for the kids. Have fucking fun with it.
There's a fair amount of ad-libbing in this story, and there's a fair amount of seagulls outside my window for some reason, but please carry on.
Yeah. I would know. Well, I live in a beach town. I would know all about seagulls.
Oh, they're a menace.
Oh, yeah.
There are places now you are told literally do not feed these birds.
Like, outside the local McDonald's and stuff in Newfoundland, you get those signs. Do not feed the seagulls. They are a menace to children.
You will only encourage them, but do not feed the seagulls.
My.
One tried to basically break into my back door a year or two ago.
Steal that seagull! Wait.
No, I didn't want to steal the seagull. It's not going to come around now because if it does, it'll get killed by the cat.
The cat that you stole?
No, I did not steal it. I mean, that
Good.
cat is an absolute menace. They got him to be a mouser, basically, to deal with mice. And then they feel sorry for them when he deals with the mice.
Also, because the cat probably brings it to them as like an offering. Look, you're a shitty hunter. I caught you food. Eat it.
See, we never had a problem. Well, actually, we had the opposite problem with our cat because he would bring animals but not kill them.
Jesus Christ.
You've never had a frog scream at 25 miles an hour when the cat throws it in the air. I have.
What? So, more shit shorts out in the TARDIS. The defense shields short out, but that's okay, you know. I tried to say that 5 times fast. I almost fucked it up.
The ship shorts out. The ship shorts out. The ship shorts out. Do I have to go on?
No, you don't. You're mirroring yourself now. But the Adrift Scanlan ship has them in a gravitational pull, which is unusual. But it pulls them in. But the co-pilot calls back to home planet Skanos, and well, we get the guy.
Oh my goodness. So yeah. So this is the Skonos, the planet of Skonos, the end of the great Skonon Empire. Their leader is a man called Soldeed. Their leader is also a gigantic theatrical ham.
Which, I don't even know if he's that big of a ham. Like, certainly he has his hammy moments, but, like, I honestly put him lower than, like, Paul Darrow or...
Oh, yeah, he's no Paul Darrow.
Or, well, who's another ham in Doctor Who? Joseph First from Underwater Menace?
Yeah.
To bring that up again? Yeah.
Coincidentally, all of them featuring on a list by a website that doesn't like hammy performances in Doctor Who.
What? Doctor Who being about something other than grim, gritty monster in corridor making people go arg?
And the list was written in 2015. I'm not going to link it because I don't want to give them publicity.
Yeah, notice I never link it. I just have it bookmarked so I can reference it.
You can figure out, I think, which site I'm referring to if I say top tens.
Oh, you're talking about them. Okay.
Yeah, them. But
you're talking about this list.
This top 10 worst performances in Doctor Who. And again, as I say, this was 2015, so a lot of the later performances weren't mentioned. It was
that
mostly
list pissed me off.
It was mostly over the top and hammy performances.
Yeah, it might as well have been titled Top 10 Doctor Who Performances I Don't Like Because They're Too Silly, and Doctor Who is a serious show with the monsters in the corridor.
I've told you this story myself, but I'll tell the people listening at home as well. I once had the idea to apply for a job with this company. Thank goodness I didn't.
Dodge that one.
I got as far as scripting an audition video, basically. My favourite top 10 Doctor Who villains. Number one would have been a fake out of the Absorbable of No Psyche is actually the Master.
And here I thought you would have put Satan from the Satan Pit.
I think he was on there. It's a long time since I put together I never actually got to filming the video. I just put a script together for it.
Right. But Graham Crowd.
Yeah.
Who most people like to say, oh my gosh, he was actually in the running to play the Fourth Doctor. Can you imagine if such a massive fucking ham would be playing the unheard of?
Well, here's the thing about Graham Crowden. This is the only time I see him being over the top.
Like, I feel like they're conflating the fact that he puts in an over-the-top performance with the logic. If he was Doctor Who, he'd put in an over-the-top performance all the fucking time and it'd just be that.
He literally wouldn't, though, because everything I've seen him in, he's not that over the top.
Also, actors have this thing. It's called range.
I thought you were going to say it's called acting, but that works too. But I got this a little bit wrong. I thought that he auditioned for the role and didn't get it. He was offered it.
Well.
And he turned it down.
And now here he is again.
So in an alternate universe, he would be the Doctor. After John Pertwee. Which is wild.
Interesting to think.
Also, going back to that list of the site that will not be named, they put Roger Lloyd Pack on it from the Cybermen 2-parter in Series 2. Which is really awkward because the actor had died less than a year before they made the list. And they acknowledged this and say, it almost seems cruel to put him on this list. But they still put him on the list. it doesn't exonerate you by saying, oh, well, this is cruel, but I'm doing it anyway. If anything, that makes it worse.
But how will you be cruel from beyond the grave?
Also, he was literally in a wheelchair at the time, legitimately, and he was doing it exactly as he was told to play it as a Bond villain. I think he did a good job. Anyway, we're sidetracking. We're getting sidetracked. But yeah,
Uh,
Crowden could have been the Fourth Doctor, wasn't, returned to play this very over-the-top villain.
So the TARDIS crashes into the ship, and the Doctor extends the shields on the door to make a bridge to a spacewalk across. And they hop in, and they find these. I love the low budget thing of this. It's just like this blue clear plastic all made up to look like a big crystal.
Yeah, they ran out of the budget hard.
I love how low budget it is, but apparently this, just turn your imagination on. This is hymethusite, a very valuable but also very radioactive mineral.
Yeah. And that's what these
not the only
prisoners
cargo.
are transporting.
And they're not the only cargo on the ship, because Doctor and Romana find the kids, who are from the planet Aneth.
Yes, and Aneth basically were conquered by Skodos.
Back when they actually were a threat, and not a crumbling, decayed empire.
And so to appease them, they send tributes, 7 tributes at a time, with these crystals. That's important, so put that to one side.
Mm.
And then the co-pilot comes in, and this was just a ray of sunshine, isn't he?
One of what? Yeah.
See, I know Soldi is the main humanoid villain of this particular story, but I actually dislike the co-pilot more.
This guy is a piece of work.
Another good actor, by the way.
And he can't help but call the kids weakling scum.
I don't know if you've seen any of the Agatha Christie Poirot's, starring David Suchet.
I have not.
He's in The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. In fact, he is Roger Ackroyd.
I see.
I'm not going to go any further if you haven't heard the story, because to talk about it would give away too much.
You give away the murder of an Agatha Christie. Yeah,
and if you want to see it, you've got to go in blind.
See, the only thing I know David Suchet from is Knock Knock, which is also kind of a mid-episode.
I was disappointed by that, because he's such a good actor and he wasn't given a huge amount to do. Disappointing.
Yeah, the Doctor thinks that someone's been creating a black hole here, and gravity is actually increasing. It's like, stick around here, so that's bad. Also a clue. But they need to get out of here quick, so the Doctor and Romana have the grand idea of, why don't we convert the hymethusite into fuel to get an added boost?
So they use up 2 of the crystals.
And so they do that, but then the Doctor goes back to the TARDIS to make sure of the thing, and the idiot co-pilot leaves him there and blasts off.
Which Romana, to her credit, is furious about.
And we should note, Romana, this is a silly little bit of plotting, I think, to get her, make her look competent and get her into trouble, because she has a sonic too. And then she's in the cockpit, and she's like, "You can't just leave the Doctor, damn it!" And she slams down her sonic and runs away. And then, when he locks her up, she doesn't have her sonic to get out again.
Yeah. And presumably that's lost because it doesn't show up again, or?
I assume they get it back at some point, but then again, I don't think we see Romana with a sonic again. So it's neat that she has one, because she's a time lady, so.
Yeah. And part 1 ends with...
she gets to be pretty doctorish in this story.
Yeah, part 1 ends with a doozy of a cliffhanger. So the Doctor's stranded the TARDIS with K9, and this giant asteroid is coming towards them.
Also, we see a Nimon.
We do see Nimon. The Nimon.
Ooh, look at it. It's on the screen right now.
It's a Minotaur on a low budget with 10-inch Cuban heels. I'm not even making up that last part. They are on platform shoes to make them look taller.
Don't you just love classic Doctor Who sometimes?
I kind of love how low budget this thing is, actually.
I kind of love how unapologetically silly it is, because part 2 opens. the Doctor and K9 are about to get obliterated,
His
and he's like,
face.
TARDIS, the TARDIS, we've had a good run together. You've been a good girl, Master. Oh, you've been a good boy too. Oh, good, first prize.
Yeah, he
And
pulls out a rosette.
he gives him a fucking ribbon.
A first prize rosette.
Oh my god.
And this is the end of the show. Of course, it's
Doctor Who
not,
have a
because
ribbon? It's a serious crisis. Shouldn't he be doing serious things and fighting monsters instead of making jokes?
well, anyway, it all works out, and what's referred to as a cricket ball strategy. The TARDIS spins and deflects basically the planetoid.
Peter Davison would be proud.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? 'Cause the next Doctor is very much into his cricket.
Yeah.
And the fourth Doctor was like, I would have been a great slow bowler. Is this where they got the idea from?
Maybe,
Or is that just a huge coincidence?
maybe it's just they wanted some quintessentially British aesthetic for Davison. And they went, oh, cricket, that's a good idea.
So, with free from the threat of the asteroid, the Doctor starts to head towards Skonos in the TARDIS. Meanwhile, back on Skonos, you talk about dodgy, low-budget effects. Can we talk about this green screen?
Oh, the gateway thing?
Or this grey screen, to be more accurate?
They basically just painted a curtain, like whatever color they're keying out.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't work. You can clearly see they're going.
So there's a chamber where the Nimon resides, and only Soldine is allowed to go into it. And to go to it, he has to come in and out through this grey void.
Which turns red when you go through it. But
It partially turns red when you go through it because they didn't do all the chroma key.
yeah,
So that's one thing.
you
They
can
found out.
tell it's just a curtain.
Yes,
Just a curtain painted blue or yellow, whatever.
it's very funny,
blue.
but they found out that the ship hasn't arrived yet. So, oh no, the sacrifice for the Nimon. This is the last lot of sacrifices, and they'll give us the secrets that we need to conquer the universe. What's going to happen? What are we going to do? They do get the ship back eventually. It goes back online, and his captain of the guards, Sorak, they have quite a lot of dialogue together.
Yeah.
To go through all of Soldi's dialogue would take a long time. The man talks a hell of a lot in this. Not all of it is intelligible, but
Disappeared.
yes. He's having fun doing this, you can tell, and that's good.
That's good. So there's some exposition while Romana's locked up with the Anathans.
Anathems, yeah.
Yeah. One of the main kid is Seth. He's the Prince of Anath, and they all rally around him saying he's going to destroy the Nimon. What are the Nimon? Oh, they're the god of It's the god of Skonas who demands tributes from Anath. And Soldi's the only scientist left after the civil war on Skonos, where the military took over, I guess, and that was probably part of the fall of the Skonan Empire. And Seth confides in Romana, I'm not even a real prince. I'll be a hero. Weakling scum!
Oh, God. Yeah, also, Seth's friend, Tika.
Yeah.
It's spelt like Tekka, but it's pronounced Tika. Played by Jenna Ellis, who, I think it was after this she went on to present Blue Peter.
I see.
I think. She definitely presented Blue Peter, I just don't know if it's before or after her appearance in this.
Well, that's interesting.
She's basically a Seth fangirl.
Basically. Yeah.
She's talking about how Seth's going to defeat the Nimon and rescue Anath, and they're all going to go free, and Seth doesn't believe a word of it. Clearly.
Meanwhile, more goofy jokes where the Doctor's trying to fix the TARDIS and it's like, there, that should do it. And it just smokes and makes all sort of cartoon bullshit. And he's like, now that's very odd.
That sound effect you made is very Tex Avery, but yes.
I mean, it is kind of Tex Avery, isn't it? Just cartoon boink bonk boing bullshit.
This is a strange story.
Very strange. But, well, the ship gets back to Skanos, and the co-pilot's there with Romana and the tributes. And, and Sully's like, 2 of the crystals are missing. What happened? And the fucking co-pilot is trying to throw Romana under the bus to make himself look good. Oh, the pilot died because of some bullshit, but I rejigged the engines
Well,
with the
he claims that
crystals.
Romana and the Doctor killed him. They are space pirates.
Yeah,
They may or may not report to Mother Brain directly.
He's like, yeah, I fixed it. I did the thing. Oh, what did you do? I remodified the engines to use the stuff, the high methucite. How did you do it? You didn't do shit.
He gets a great line about, you have neither the intelligence nor the capacity, or something like that, to do something like that. So the upshot is that the co-pilot is forced by Soldeed at staff point through the curtain into the labyrinth, into the power complex where the Nimon resides. And this is where the green screen really fails, because he forces him through the curtain, right?
Mm-hmm.
He screams, and the next shot you can see behind Soldeed, the curtain, there are 2 feet sticking out. And clearly the actor was just told to wait there for his cue, and forgot to put his feet out of the way of the curtain. And because the boots were black, they couldn't chroma key him out. It's really...
Well, even though Romana protests, Soldi doesn't really have any sympathy for her, and so, you know what, fuck it. You're gonna go in there with the Anethans' tribute. You get the fuck in there.
Yeah. At this point, they're just saying that the crystals are the tribute. And the Anethans are presenting it. But we all know the truth.
Yeah.
If you know the Crete myth that this is based on, you know the truth.
Ooh.
I mean, good God, we've seen the Nimon. The Nimon is a big bull. What does that remind you of?
Reminds me of the Time Monster.
Yeah. Or this particular screenshot from the Mine Robber.
Thank you, Cat.
Thank you, Cat, indeed.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all know if you follow Doctor Who reviews on Twitter at Reviews Doctor, but Cat, I swear to God, Cat has queued up once a month for the next 2 years just a random tweet of the fucking Minotaur face.
I'm not even gonna. I don't want to break the illusion of myself, but I believe you're right.
Yeah. Just randomly out of the blue, I'll be on Twitter, and then that fucking face will be tweeted out from our account, and I'm like, Cat.
So they're sent through with the crystals, with the Manithusite, Hymethusite. I can't pronounce the damn crystal name, but Hymethusite. Thank you.
Hymethusite.
Hymethusite. Hymethusite. Okay, so they're sent through into the maze.
Blue crystals. It's meth. Holy shit! Walter White's in here.
That's doubly funny because of something that was said recently on a stream by KZX that just broke everybody.
Oh God!
I'm not sure I can repeat it here.
And oh yeah, this complex is a big sprawling labyrinth.
Gee, I wonder if that's a reference to anything.
And the walls of it keep shifting and changing, so you can never know how to find your way through.
That's in the myth too.
And these shadows keep on changing.
So yeah, this is basically Doctor Who's take on the Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. And I suppose Seth's supposed to be Theseus. I mean, he even has the letters of the name there.
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind this. The Nimon, of course, is the Minotaur. There's a few changes to the story that they didn't have in the Greek myth, obviously.
Oh, wait, hang on. So they replaced the engines of the ship with Hymethusite. So can you say that's the same ship that they left on?
Yeah, that's what they're doing, I think. There's another reference to the ship of Theseus towards the end as well, which I'll get to later.
Oh, yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. But the Doctor finally makes it to Skanos and is basically caught immediately.
And basically wants to be caught immediately.
Take me to your leader.
Yeah, he gets the line in.
Yep. And meanwhile, Romana and the kids find a mummy.
Oh, God, this.
A mummified Anethan.
Yeah,
The
still wearing
Tekka
the yellow
pokes it and it
jumpsuit.
fucking disintegrates. Ugh.
Romana explains that it's been drained of all its life force, basically.
Yeah.
So something basically ate it from over a long period of time, and a long time ago. Tika just touches it, and then it just collapses into dust. Is this where they also see the dormant Anephans on the wall?
Uh, do I? Not quite yet.
Freeze packed and ready to go.
Not quite yet. But first, we got the Doctor and Soldy.
Oh yes, oh yes. A
A
wonderful
meeting of
first
the
encounter.
hands.
This is. I'm glad they get to interact.
We all.
Why don't you take this? I'm still laughing.
I didn't really write down much of what they say, but it's basically that they have a little chin wag, and the Doctor's like, "Have you seen my companion Romana? Blonde, about this high, pokes her head and thinks she shouldn't."
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "I haven't seen anyone like that." And then one of the guards walks in with the gravitic anomalizer. And the Doctor's like, "Haven't seen her, huh? Well, what about this part from my ship?" And so then there's a chase, and the Doctor evades it by saying, "I'm looking for the exit. I'm looking for the exit."
Yeah, there's these old guys in black that we see a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I think the impression is that there's some sort of council, which again, it being Greek mythology, would fit. They don't really do much of anything. They don't stop the Doctor. That's left to the guards. And yeah, the gravitic anomalizer gets a few mentions throughout the serial. So he runs away. Meanwhile, back in the labyrinth, I think this is where we see the freeze packed Anephans, and the co-pilot turns up again.
Well,
Great.
That, I just want to point out one thing before that, where the Doctor gets in there, and being that this is Theseus labyrinth, he immediately starts marking the walls with star stickers.
That's how he escapes from them. That's right. He runs into the labyrinth.
Yeah.
And they're like, what would we have to do with him now?
He's immediately marking the wall with star stickers because thread in the labyrinth. But it doesn't work because the walls immediately shift and just they're gone.
And he refers to it as cheating, I think. Well, that's just cheating. God, Tom Baker was a wonderful Doctor, wasn't he?
Then the co-pilot catches Romana and the Anephans holding him at gunpoint.
And then just desserts happens, but he basically has to lie a lot.
Nimon, I brought you the tributes.
Yeah, and he's like, you lie. No one ever... The only one that sees me in here is Soldeed. He didn't send you here to give the tributes. He sent you here to be executed. And the man's on his knees begging for forgiveness. He doesn't get it. He gets what he deserves.
Bye, bitch.
A full-on blast for the Nimon's horns. That man is dead.
Lizzo voice. Bye, bitch.
Donald Glover, good.
Good.
I'm glad.
Zelda CDI, good.
Yeah, but what is not so good is having disposed of the treacherous co-pilot, the Nimon is now rounding on the prisoners and Romana, and part 2.
But then part 3 happens. I wonder how Romana and Co are gonna get. Oh, look, it's Tom Baker. Hey, what's he got there?
Is it the gravitic anomalizer? No.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Because he's a bull.
Yeah. By this point, we do know about the chambers with the dormant Anephans on the wall.
Yeah.
Because one gets shot.
Oh yeah, one gets shot in the scene, don't they?
And just falls out dead.
Which, oops.
Maybe they were dead, but they act like they've just been killed.
Tom Baker's just like luring the Nimon away with his big red scarf, Toro.
I'm convinced parts of this set were basically salvaged and recycled from the Ark in Space.
I mean, it was only, 4 years ago?
Yeah, so it's
Doesn't get the
possible.
time. So
It
it is
is possible.
possible.
Yeah, but the red to the bull is very funny.
And Romana gets the co-pilot's gun and runs off with Seth and Tika, as the rest of the Anethans are still left behind with their
They're
crystals.
too scared to run. Romana tells them to get out. They just don't. They're just holding the crystals like a bunch of idiots.
Whoops.
So the Nimon takes the crystals from them, pops them in this contraption, then shoots one of them, but not dead.
They're getting freeze-dried, basically.
We don't see it happen, but they'll be put in the wall with the rest of them. Because the Nimon is a patient hunter, patient predator. He just puts them in the walls to form a larder.
Yeah.
That's not terrifying at all.
No, clearly not. Romana's running off with Seth and Tika. The Doctor soon reunites with her. And then they find the control room deep in the complex with a great big transmitter.
Get used to seeing this set as well, because we come here a hell of a lot.
I know. We could use K9 to help. So he blows on K9's dog whistle to get K9 to come. As Soldeed and Co are trying to get into the TARDIS.
This is great.
It's great. Oh, I can't get this primitive capsule open. Soldeed, it just opened.
He just slams his fist on the door in frustration, and it swings open.
And then K9 comes out, and it's like, oh, what the hell is that thing? And the guards shoot it. K9 stuns a guard. Soldeed zaps it with his staff and neutralizes K9.
Yeah, he deactivates K9 for the time being.
They can't get back in the TARDIS. They've got K9, and Soldeed is going to take him to the lab to see what's on the slab.
Oh boy.
Da, 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 da. Mike, that one was for you. He said, "Oh boy." Yeah, again.
I see you quiver with So back to part 3 then. Things are looking rather dire for our heroes. K9 has been taken away to be examined by Soldeed, who is a scientist, don't forget. We've got the Doctor, Seth and Tika, and Romana still stuck in the labyrinth.
They're playing around with this big transmitter and all these controls and figuring out, oh, this thing is transmitting a whole bunch of energy right to that black hole out in space. Why, that could be a gateway into hyperspace, bridging together two distant places.
And that's crazy, isn't it? A black hole as a bridge to another place.
Weird.
I know we call it anti-science because it's science fiction, and fair enough, but because a black hole, this is where I sort of show my science nerd credentials a little bit, because a black hole is faster than the speed of light, nothing can escape it. That's the whole reason nothing can escape it.
Mm.
So anytime it's like, oh, a black hole is like a gateway to another dimension. No, it's not. But it's a gateway to something, it's just oblivion.
That would be a good title. Gateway to Oblivion.
I'm sure that's been done. In something, I'm sure that's been done.
Yeah, no. But Soldeed and Sorak are talking. He thinks, oh, we're going to get power, all the power for our new battleships. But Sorak is like a little doubtful. He's like, I'm not questioning them. I'm just speculating. What do they get out of all this? And Soldeed thinks he's smarter than he is. He's like, I've got the Nimon wrapped around my finger. I give them their little tributes and I get unlimited.
Yeah. It's not going to turn out that way.
No. You thought, Chief. You thought. But now we get another silly scene where the Doctor and Co are playing around and then, oh no, a Nimon's coming. Let's hide!
The Nimon.
And everyone passes their stealth checks perfectly, despite, peeking around. Either they pass their stealth checks perfectly, or the Nimon rolled a 1 on all its perception checks, because this is comical.
So the Nimon walks past them. There's a bit
And
more
And
exposition.
walks past.
Yeah.
And walks past them.
And keeps walking past them. But there's a bit more exposition. There's a bit more talking in corridors. Seth and Tika are said to be on guard duty again. This happens a few times, so forgive me, my memory's not 100% accurate. But then,
Also,
this is when the capsule shows up.
holy shit, it's an egg! They brought down Scanlus's moon!
No, it's not an egg. No, it's not an egg.
Mm.
It's this.
Oh my fucking god! You are appealing to my sensibilities today.
Because, spoilers, is inside the Absolute Save capsule, the battle is in fact over.
Oh, if you know, you know how fucked up that is.
That is such a wild way to end that fight.
Yeah.
But then again, that entire game is messed up.
Hey kids, play Mother 3.
If you don't want to sleep at
I know
night,
Nintendo won't give it to you, but there are ways. Play Mother 3.
if you don't want to sleep at night, play Mother 3. There's some seriously weird stuff in there,
If you
messed
want
up
to
stuff in
sob your
there,
fucking eyes out, play Mother 3.
and I think I know one of the reasons why it was never localized.
Yeah, I can buy that. Even so, even with a little, even with some iffy, questionable moments, it is still a video game you should play.
Oh, it is a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, this capsule comes down, and inside, oh my god, it's more Nimons!
Yeah, it's not. We've been calling it the Nimon. It's actually the Nimons. This is a neat little trick that the aliens play.
Oh, there's more than one.
Yeah, I like this idea. Setting up like there's just one monster, and actually no, he's just one of a race, which is kind of what the Gelf do, is it not?
It's funny. You know what's really funny?
Yeah.
You know how you were bitching about Resurrection of the Daleks earlier?
Yeah.
Eric Sayward this basically. Well, I'd say stole is a strong word. Eric Sayward used a similar twist for the Visitation.
Yeah, and that's not bad actually.
It's like okay story.
Maybe one day we'll cover that.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, this is a bit like the Gelf.
And that's where I run into some problems. Ooh.
What? It's like the Gelf.
Yeah.
Please do continue then.
Remember what we talked about with the Gelf?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yes, Skonos will be the new home of the Nimon race, and it's just in time because the planet Krynoth is finished. Begin the migration.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's kind of being like, oh, they're migrants, but they're evil and they'll kill you all. See,
it's like, a bit different, though. I think in this situation,
it kind of calls to mind, and I'm sorry to remind you of this fucking piece of shit. Survivors of the Flux.
Ugh.
You remember the doctor's hologram?
Oh,
There's so many aliens displaced from the Flux who are going to be looking for a new home.
That's worse,
a new planet to conquer.
That's worse because that's actually framing it as refugees.
Yeah.
Fighting for the Earth, whereas the Nimon here, we're in no doubt their intentions are evil.
Yeah, but even so, it's kind of bummed out.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, so they've got a black hole up above Krynoth, another planet, and this beam is building the bridge. And then thousands, maybe even millions of Nimons are going to come and take over the planet Skonos.
Well, Romana, we've got to stop it. Romana, where are you?
Oh, scatterbrain doctor. He's going to reverse the beam to send the Nimon back to Krynoth. And while Romana is investigating the capsule, and he does it, he's like, Romana, I did it, Romana. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't check to see if she was in the fucking capsule first. I just sent her back to Krynoth.
Well, I'll just reverse the process instead of that. Oh, hi, Soldy. What are you doing with that staff?
No, don't shoot the fuck trolls. No!
The doctor's reaction to this is so sort of unnecessarily understated.
Yeah.
Because, like, oh no, she's stranded, she can't come back. But then his reaction doesn't state that or suggest that.
He just looks at the frazzled controls and he's like, oh, Anna.
But Soldy is not done because he's like, you fool! You meddling fool! You've ruined everything!
Now I'm going to kill you! Bam!
Yeah.
And we get to part 4, and the cliffhanger resolution is that Han Solo has entered the chat.
I love it.
And so Soldy is stunned, and Seth takes his laser staff thing, and the doctor has to get to work fixing the thing to bring Romana back, who, meanwhile, comes out of the capsule and is like, Doctor, what? Wait a minute. This isn't the same place. Oh shit, there's Nymons! Run!
Yeah. And this is where we get, dare I say it, a parallel here.
Hmm?
Because Romana is hiding from the Nymons, hiding for her life. And she doesn't know where she is. We, I think, can figure out where she is.
Dunkrin,
Yeah, the dying planet of Krinoff.
which is just some more corridors with a slightly different color.
It's really not much to talk about as a planet, but
Well, that's part of the theme because the Nymon have done their thing to
after a
take
little
over.
bit of sneaking around and she gets caught, and then an old man saves her.
With a staff very much like the lead staff.
Very much so. This is Sezom. Sezom is
And
basically Soldi's equivalent on Krinoff.
yeah, and he's regretful. Oh God, I destroyed my entire planet by trusting the Nymon. Oh no, they fooled me in exchange for tribute. But the key difference is that Sazam was working for peace instead of I want an army to take over everything.
He claimed, but there's no real reason to think he's lying.
Hmm. And now he's regretful. Oh my God, I was such an idiot. Oh. Back on Skanas, the Doctor and Co-op fail their stealth checks because Soldi just gets up and runs away
Yeah,
while they're all
he'll
playing.
warn the Naimon after him. That doesn't end well for Tika.
Yeah, Seth and Tika get separated by the shifting walls, so that's not great.
And Tika tries to shoot Soldeed. The gun's out of power. How did she get the gun, by the way? Did Seth just give it to her?
Yeah, he had the gun. He shot Soldi with the gun. Then he took the staff, and I guess he gave Tika the gun when he took the staff.
Right, so she tries to shoot him or stun him or whatever. It's out of power, so he just grabs her by the wrist.
Damn.
And then... is this
Okay.
where the facial acting of Graham Crown goes into overdrive?
Oh yeah.
This is just wonderful. So he's got her by the wrist. And he's smirking. And in comes the Naimon. He's still smirking.
In comes two more.
He's no longer smirking. He looks absolutely horrified.
What the fuck?
But you can tell this is shaking him. To his very core of being.
And to further the oh god, the fucking weird migration thing. Sezam back on Krinhoff basically calls the Namen locusts, moving from planet to planet, taking everything for themselves, leaving nothing in their wake, and moving on.
They're parasites.
And it's like, I don't know about this.
Well, they're parasites.
Also, before Tika gets kidnapped, she comes across the body of the co-pilot, which I feel this is only here so the co-pilot could get paid for all four parts of the serial.
Possibly,
Because
yeah.
if you count having him get killed again in the part 3 cliffhanger reprise, and having his body on the slab, he's in all four parts.
I don't know why his body is here, but it's here.
To get drained of energy.
But he's dead.
Maybe he was stunned. I don't know.
No, he's dead.
Well, whatever's here. Who knows?
But yeah, he's here, so he got his royalty check for part 4. But
back in Soldeed's lab, then, Zorak is fucking with K9 and wakes him up.
yeah, because Sora's figured out, well, Sol D didn't know what you were, so you're more powerful than him. He doesn't have all the answers, so maybe if I fix you, something good will happen.
Well, in a way, he's right.
Yeah, he's helping him out for selfish interest, but he's helping him.
It gets K9 out of there anyway.
He repairs K9. K9 immediately takes off. Also, Sorak is amazed to find out K9 can speak.
Wow, holy shit.
But this is like the far future, so I don't know why he's so surprised about that.
Most people are like, "What the fuck is this thing?" when they come across K9.
And then this kid of Cobra just throws him out of a door.
Or Bill Fraser who fucking kicks him.
Yeah, and took the role so he could.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh god. But the Naimons on Krinoth are preparing the final contingency plan, which
I don't know if it's called
phrasing.
that. It's something like that.
Yeah. But here we get some more exposition, which is I'm sure, pleasing to your Greek mythology degree having self,
Yeah.
where Cezanne powered up his staff to stun the Nimon with a powerful mineral with an electric charge called Jasonite.
Yeah, it's not spelt like that, Jason.
It was on my subtitles on the
It's
Blu-ray.
TARDIS Wiki has it as Jacenite. But yeah, this is what they're going for. Jasonite, another hero of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And I say hero when he's not actually the greatest person,
Well,
because Jason does some questionable things.
I mean, a lot of people in Greek mythology are like that when you
Well, in,
really
in, in
look
the
at it.
ancient Greek world, hero wasn't like that sort of hero.
Uh-huh.
As I said, some of them did very questionable things, but they also did it for the gods.
Yeah.
A lot of the heroes were basically carrying out the will of the gods. Apart from Heracles, who's basically half of his legend is, Hera's trying to torment me.
Right. The Doctor tries to beam back the capsule, but only beams back a bunch more Nimons.
Yeah,
Oops.
so that doesn't work out.
But Romana and Sezam are doing their plan. It's like, well, we'll create a clever distraction so you can get to the capsule and escape and warn Skanos. And they do their thing. Sezam gets lasered, and he takes his staff and he defends his position long enough for Romana to get away, but he gets lasered again.
I think he's quite happy to die, though, isn't he? Because I think he's dying anyway.
And he's like, well, I destroyed my planet. If I can do some good, oh.
Yeah, he's seen as a sympathetic character,
Yeah.
unlike Sol did.
He made a mistake and doomed his whole world, but he's saving another world.
Yeah, it's like he has time again. He's got a chance to make it right,
Yeah.
and he makes it right at the cost of his life. So Ramona's just sitting in the capsule, wondering why the Doctor hasn't sent her over yet.
Because the other Nimons are like, she's in the capsule, let's destroy it.
And then
And the Doctor can't just pull the lever because two other Nimons have him hostage.
yeah. So how do they
Then
get
they're
out of
like-
this?
They're like, well, oh, they're like, he's reversed the beam. We'll just reverse it. And they pull the lever for him and beam the capsule back just in time.
Yeah, and the smile was
Romana
like, you
comes
fell
out.
right into my trap.
Romana comes out and is like, Doctor, what were you? Oh, shit, there's Nimons.
So she throws the Jasonite to Seth.
Who just showed up, thankfully. And she's like, put it in the prongs of the crystal. And he puts it in the staff and he shoots the Nimon and stuns them.
Yeah, it says them to say it can only stun, it can't kill.
Yeah. And just as another one's about to get him, another laser comes and it's K9.
Is Sorak in tow here, or is it just K9?
Just K9. He locks Sorak in Soldeed's office.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. And so the Doctor is going to use K9 to divert the tunnel, the black hole tunnel, to just the middle of nowhere in space. And then Romana and Seth go to find Tika, who's been freeze-dried. And then they find Soldeed, who at this point I think has gone full ham.
Here we go. This is it.
You meddlesome hussy!
Oh my god, what a line that is. But as great as Graham Crowd is in this scene, Romana more than holds her own.
Oh yeah.
She is genuinely angry at him. She shouts at him about his greed and his cowardliness and how he's done this to his planet. He's brought it all down on them.
How many Nimons have you seen today?
Yeah.
I have seen 3!
Graham Crown's clawing at his face.
And this is the line that sticks with me. My dreams of conquest!
Yeah.
The way he says it. Conquest!
Now, here's the thing about his performance here. You mentioned Paul Darrow.
Yeah.
And as I said back in our Time Lash review, Paul Darrow's performance was all about... He wasn't supposed to play it as he did. He took the decision to personally change it so he was like Richard III. And also, he wanted to upstage Colin Baker.
Which I think he did a pretty good job of.
He did a fantastic job upstaging Colin Baker. The list I will not name the website for doesn't agree. They think the story gets better when his bones hit the floor. But,
Oh, it fucking
no, it gets worse.
Then
when his
again,
bones
Time
hit the
Lash
floor.
isn't that great anyway, but
No, but it gets worse when he's out of it. Um, but here, this was not a case of an actor sabotaging anything. I cannot find any kind of statement that Crowden went off script here. He was playing it as he was told to play it.
go fucking ham. It's a dumb kid show.
So it's not a question of, look at this actor trying to upstage the Doctor. No, look at this actor doing the job he's been asked to do.
Go be a fucking ham. Go crazy. You're an evil villain. Ah!
Anyway, he's
And
about to bring an end to everything. Sif shoots him in the back and kills him.
Just as he pulls the lever.
But before he pulls the lever... Before he pulls the lever...
He corpses. Literally and figuratively.
This is brilliant. So his death speech... It kind of went wrong.
He's supposed to say, doomed! You're all doomed!
Yeah, but he can't hold it in.
Oh, you can actually hear and see.
He's nearly corpse because he says it.
Doomed! You're all doomed!
But in fairness to Graham Crowden, he didn't think this was the take that was going in the episode. He believed this was a rehearsal. But it was a rehearsal that was being filmed, so he couldn't keep it himself from laughing. But the director decided, you know what? That fits the character, keep it in. And also, we're running over time anyway, so who cares?
It's 9:58. We gotta get this shit done. Trust me. I've watched enough Doctor Who behind the scenes documentary. I know all about 10 o'clock.
Again, God bless Brian Blessed, but
yeah. So so the whole place is gonna go boom. You know, it's playing the Doctor Who Mirror Alert without playing the Mirror Alert part.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
I mean, you had your chance for the mirror alert earlier, you didn't take it, so sorry. But
an attempt was made. I mean,
an attempt was made. So they find Tika in the wall. It's like, well, she's dead, isn't she? No, she's just paralysed, and so were the other Enfians. Here's where I have a bit of an ethical problem with this.
Oh yeah.
So they said, get them all out, and we can escape. They get them out. The 7 or the 6 that we've seen, but there's more than 7 in there.
Whoops. Well, maybe the other tributes were too far gone.
Maybe they were too far gone. They don't explain this, but
well, you can patch.
Perhaps they'd already been partially. This is horrible.
Absorbed.
Partially digested. Yeah.
Ugh, nasty. But they're trying to find their way out as the place is about to go haywire. K9 can sense the way, and K9 finds an illusory wall because this is Dark Souls now, I guess. And so they go through it, and the Doctor's like, "Everyone out! This place is gonna go boom!" And it goes boom.
Yeah. So the council
it's a
gets
pretty good
out.
model that goes boom.
It's a massive boom. The council gets out in time. The soldiers get out in time. The tributes to Dr. Romana and K9. Soldy's dead, so that doesn't count.
And we get exposition wrap up where the Doctor and Romana are in the TARDIS saying what resolved. Sorak's in charge of Skanos. They're not going to be conquering shit because they're too busy getting their own affairs in order. Seth and Tika are going to go back to Aneth, and then we get some mythology illusions, which you should cover.
Yeah, this is where I come in, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned the ship of Theseus earlier, and that's very fitting. Because they make a reference to a different part of the ship of Theseus here. So everyone knows the whole myth about, it changed the parts, is it really the same ship?
Yeah.
Which they later do with, to wonderful effect in Deep Breath.
Oh, yeah.
You take a broom, you replace the handle, and you replace the brush. Is it the same broom? No. Well, a different part of the myth of Theseus. Do you want to listen about, heroes not always acting in the most heroic way?
Mm-hmm.
Well, King Minos has a daughter, Ariadne. And Ariadne falls for Theseus in a big way and gives him the ball of magic thread so he can get out of the labyrinth.
Okay.
So he owes her, you would think.
Yeah.
Theseus doesn't agree and abandons her on an island,
Oh, well.
having escaped from the labyrinth and Crete. Which,
That's
by the
not
way, I've
great.
been to Crete and I've been to Knossos, the labyrinth. Unfortunately, I can't remember it very well because I was 3 at the time. But maybe one
Well,
day I'll
you've been
go
there.
back.
You- Okay.
There are photographs of me on my dad's
Oh.
shoulders, and clearly having a good time. But maybe one day I'll get to go back. At the moment, with everything that's going on, travel's not really an option because the airport, the air travel industry is in shambles, and also everything costs far too much. But the point is this:
Let's talk about myth more.
yeah, in punishment. Sorry, I made it kind of real for a second there.
Mhm.
In punishment for doing this to Ariadne, who, let's face it, was innocent, betrayed her father to save Theseus, and his gratitude was to dump her on an island. One of the gods, and it's probably Athena, punishes Theseus because there was a deal made between his father, Aegeus, and Theseus that if he came back and it had all gone to plan, he survived, there would be a white sail on the ship. And if he didn't, the sail would be black, and that means that Theseus is dead and it's all gone wrong. And Athena basically makes the crew forget to change the sail.
Whoops.
And so Aegeus is so aggrieved by this, he throws himself to his death off the cliffs.
Well, that's some karma for you.
Yeah,
Theseus.
not for the poor father.
No, it was for Theseus.
Yeah, the father is innocent in all this, but basically the Doctor refers to this and says, they're going to paint the ship white this time,
God.
implying he was there when Theseus came back from the labyrinth and was to blame for the king killing himself.
Whoops.
Oops. And then a final wrap up. We see Krinoth go critical. So that's the end of the Nimons.
Bye.
As far as I know, they've not been brought back.
Well, there is one thing. Not on TV. Not on TV.
But maybe the expanded universe or Big Finish, but
There is a big finish.
there's always a Big Finish.
Seasons of Fear with the Eighth Doctor in charge.
There's always a Big Finish.
It's actually pretty funny, from what I remember.
Okay.
It kind of, how Chibnall takes the Santarans way too seriously, even though they've been a joke since like 1975.
They do the opposite with the Nimons here.
Yeah, I think it's basically like, all right, we're using these dumb Fourth Doctor villains. They're a fucking joke.
Okay, that's better.
That is a bit better.
That's a better use of the Nimons in here. And then there's a final shot which is wonderful. They're sort of like saying, we made it for the adventure. Sorat's going to become the new leader of Skonos, and hopefully he'll lead them to a better future than Soldi was going to, and they'll become a more peaceful race under him. We never get the resolution to that. We assume he might, but we don't know. And then he says about it's thousands of years old, but the old girls still hold together. And Romana takes it as a compliment for her. And I said, no, I'm at the TARDIS. And the face that Romana makes,
Wow.
she doesn't stick her tongue out. She just sort of screws up her nose at him. It's really funny. And that's how we end Horns of the Nimon. Sorry, the Horns of Nimon. So what did we think about the Horns of Nimon?
You want to go first, or shall I?
Oh, you go first.
It's okay. It's like not the worst, not the best. There's, it's kind of standard Doctor Who, standard goofy Doctor Who shit. It's not like a serious thing by any means. It's kind of a romp. It definitely knows it. It has Tom Baker do silly shit like the ribbon and the red flag and all that. It's got some funny gags. It's got some good goofy bits with Graham Crowden going ham. Not full ham like some other Doctor Who actors, but pretty ham. Yeah. It's I have had worse experiences with this show. I've had better, but I've had worse. So it's firmly in the it's okay tier. Good to watch once in a while. How about you?
You're probably thinking this being Greek mythology and also containing a lot of over-the-top acting by Graham Crowden. I'd enjoy this. And I didn't not enjoy it, but it's not it's not the greatest story ever told. It's not because of the cheap effects, because I actually find them really funny. Particularly the fact that they couldn't get the guy's boots out of the shot of the curtain. I think that's great. But I'm not the only one that doesn't think too highly of the story, because Graham Williams thought this was quite a weak story. He thought that there wasn't much of it, and it was basically included because they had no other scripts at the time.
Oh, well, at least this one that Douglas is working on, this Shada is gonna. Oh,
that's exactly it. So they, under his instruction, they buried it in the episode 5 slot, serial 5 slot, thinking, well, we've got a strong finale with Shada. It'll be forgotten about. It's all right. What do you mean we can't do Shada now? And it backfired. So a weak, by comparison, story ended the season instead.
Well, today you can finish it with Shada if you want.
Yeah, you can, because it exists. I would recommend that you do, but it's wild, isn't it? We've got Nightmare of Eden, and then this, and then Shada.
Nightmare of Eden is a little cheap too, but it has some inventive.
And apart from, and also tells the Doctor telling a drug dealer to go away.
Yeah. Which
is great. And a man laughing his ass off when people are getting killed, which is not so great.
Not so great, but yeah, it's an okay story. The whole migration issue a little.
It's an inventive way to take Greek mythology and put it into a space setting. I'll give him that much.
It holds up better than Underworld.
It hits a lot of the beats of the original myths, so yeah. In that regard, good job.
Right.
So that's basically it for the Horns of Nimon. Next time then. Wait a second. Can you hear that?
No.
There it was again. Are you sure you can't hear that?
I don't know. What is it?
Whatever it is, it's putting a shiver up my spine.
Oh, what could it be?
Showtime.
I've no idea, but the mysterious voice is telling me that next time on Doctor Who Reviews, 3 of us will be reviewing Colin Baker in Attack of the Cybermen.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. I wouldn't have picked this. I have some history with this particular serial, but it's not my choice.
We've only got 2 Colin Bakers left.
Yeah. So you can probably guess who picked this.
I wonder who.
Yeah. I wonder who.
Damn you, Mike! How did you done?
Yes, it's all Mike's fault. Wait, what? Mike, if you actually listen to this and you listen to this every week, we don't mean it.
No.
It's a bit. It's just a bit.
This is the bit. This is a joke. You're good people. We'll talk about Quantum Leap soon. Actually, we talk about Quantum Leap every day.
So yeah, Attack of the Cybermen then with Colin Baker. Well, the 2 we've yet to do.
Ugh.
We were always going to do a Colin Baker soon.
Yeah.
When this was able to happen. I don't want to go too much behind the scenes.
Okay.
But yeah, as I say, 3 of us, at least 3 of us, will be doing it. Hopefully.
Oh shit!
The person
you
that's
got
picked
Sean
this,
back in on this.
The person that's picked this, and us 2. And if it's available, Kachiri as well.
Who could it be?
Who could it be? I'll never tell.
Believe it or not, it's not me.
I mean, the laughter wasn't just in my head like the master. They'll all know. But if it is in my head, you won't know.
Ooh.
If it is in my head, I probably shouldn't be running a podcast anymore.
Well, I'm gonna have to break out the alcoholic beverages for this one, because Attack of the Cybermen. Ian Levine's fucking dreams.
Yeah. Also, you know how I said the Resurrection of the Daleks broke my liking for Dalek stories for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember that. Because this story's connected to it, for God's sakes.
Oh yeah, so it is.
So maybe this will turn me off the Cybermen.
Let's be real, Rainiac. Earthshock already did that.
Yes. And then the Ascension of the Cybermen finished it off. Actually, no, we did Ascension first, didn't we?
Yes, I do believe we did, because we did Earthshock right after the 100th. Yeah,
Oh, you're right, yeah.
and that was in 2021.
Time is a flat circle. Beryl Reid in Earthshock is one of the few appearances on that list I actually agreed with.
Oh yeah,
What's the day?
what's that?
No, what's the day, not delay? That's a
What
line
is
she
the day?
flubs.
Oh yeah.
Who do we get to play this tough space captain? How about Beryl Reid? Yeah, fine.
Yeah. I mean, Beryl Reid is the least of my problems with Earthshock.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, where can you find us lovely people, Rain?
You can find us lovely people on Twitter at Reviews Doctor. Individually at Radiant the Maniac, at Freezing Inferno, at The Kachiri, and at Concave Usurper. And for Twitch.tv, it's the same. Just replace the slash after the slash of Twitch.tv. It's /Radiant, /Freezing Inferno, /The Kachiri, and /Concave Usurper. By Terror Through the Trees by Sean Dillon. By Back to Live by Christopher Tier, Volumes 1 and 2 on Amazon.com.
Great Quantum Leap on my blog. Well, we'll get this out this week, but I'm almost done season 3, so that'll be that write-up will be out by the end of August, because holy shit, I have to finish this show before October, because in October I do my Halloween blog, and then in November I do NaNoWriMo, and then in December my fingers are bleeding and I stop writing for a month.
Yeah. All being well as well, after this goes out this week, the Fall Guys stream highlight reel will finally go out. I've had a lot on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no excuse for waiting a whole month, so I'm sorry about that. But
can I give you an extra helping of Sinful Gear on your plate?
funny enough, I am going to get back to that sometime this week.
Good, I'm very happy. I'm almost finished it with another friend. We got 2 more watch sessions.
Yeah, I've got Series 4 to finish off and then take a little bit of a break and then go to Series 5.
And, yeah, that'll be something.
I can't think of anything else to plug.
I reckon not.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Brisket.
God damn it. I know what he's referring to, and I'm mad about that.
You know what I'm referring to, and you're mad about that?
Yeah. You don't know, do you?
Brisket.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm not mad about the statement, by the way, on that at all.
Good.
It's the fact that they're called brisket.
No, that's great. You get, because I love it. Brisket.
I mean, they could just call them Bridget.
Well, that's the point. The joke is that the friend doesn't want to correct the person who likes Bridget so much because they keep calling her brisket.
Okay.
It's a joke. It's like
That's
they
a
don't
good
have the
joke.
heart to correct them.
That's
What?
a good joke. What's not a good joke, but it's actually really good, is the Fall Guy mock-up someone did of a Bridget costume.
That's lit.
I thought that was real.
Yeah. I still need to dust off Strive and play with Bridget. I mean, Eno is still my main, but I want to try. I want to try Brisket for trans rights. Okay.
I will never forgive you for introducing me to Bridget Quest.
Bridget Quest. Anyway,
I was humming it just randomly throughout the week.
Anyway, say goodnight, Rainiac.
Good night, Rainiac, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully, more than 2 of us to talk about Colin Baker in Attack of the Cybermen. Until then, bye for now. Patient. We agreed before we started we would not talk about that, and I'm going to stick to that.
Yeah, let's.
As crazy as that situation is, if you want to know about that, just watch the news. Just read Twitter. It's all over that.
Wow, I can't believe the Scanlan Empire absconded with the nuclear secrets.
What part of we weren't going to talk about that did you not understand?
I believe for real.
Did you do you not understand the words coming out of my mouth?
What?
I'm going to have to keep this in there because you've said that. We could have kept going, and we could have kept cutting it out. But now we have to include it. 3, 2, 1. I'm corpsing again. It's still relevant.